Hey, good morning. So I'm here at Greg's. I want to give you a tour of the van before we start, and so you can see what it looks like. This is basically a factory 1996 Dodge two-wheel drive Sportsmobile, and so you can just get an idea. This is one wheelbase, one wheelbase, and one footprint or floor plan. Yeah, that's the words that it came in. There's a few different variations. This is, I think, the EB19, EB as in extended body, and I'll show you what that is. And then it's just 19 feet. It could be different for others, but this is what ours looks like. So, all right, so just a regular Dodge van, really, that was converted by adding that pop-top. And just going to do a quick walk around on the outside here so you can see what it looks like from different angles. And you can see this line right here. That's for the extended wheelbase. So they just kind of added it on to the back. And I'll show you underneath as well. Take the wheel cover off. Didn't really like how it looked. It was very oxidized and yellow. And we had some running boards, which I removed. So from this side, it pretty much looks just like a regular work van. Let's see if we can get far enough back here to get a good view. Yeah. So it's very discreet on this side, whereas on the other side it has a lot more camper-looking items. You know, windows, and then you can kind of see down here, that is the gray water tank flush valve. Or dump valve, I guess. So, let's take a look underneath. So under here, it's just your basic drivetrain. It's in really good shape. There's our gray water tank. I don't yet know how many gallons it is. It's like 7 inches by 30 by 18. So I'm guessing it's around 10 or 12 gallons, maybe a little bit more. I haven't done the math, but just by looking at it. And here's our gray water valve and stuff. In the back here, we have, this is a battery compartment. There's one on each side. And then right there is a Onan 2800 generator. It's gasoline powered, so it runs on the same fuel. And that's the fuel tank for the vehicle that it's also connected to. And then around the other side here, there's just the other battery compartment and a couple hookups and stuff like that. And on this side, this is an air conditioner made by a company called Star Cool back in the day. They're out of business, or no longer making it, one or the other. But that's what that does. And there's some miscellaneous stuff that I've seen under here. There's like an electrical connection box and stuff. But and then the spare is mounted to a carrier on the door. I'm not a huge fan of this, so we might be changing it. It's bolted right to the door. And then there's the pop-top. And that lifts up. It's about 2 feet when it's up. And the springs are a little loose, so we're gonna see about tightening them today. But that's what it looks like on the outside. And this mirror likes to keep folding while I'm driving. It just keeps flopping in. It's very loose compared to this side. So I don't know if I can tighten it. This one's very sturdy comparatively. So let's have a look inside. This is the driver compartment, or cabin, whatever you want to call it. Both of these chairs swivel, although I have not tried them yet, so I don't even know where the swivel is, but I do know that they swivel. And while this is older, you know, it's got some wood grain, faux wood grain on the dash. It's not too ancient looking. and the seats are they're in pretty good shape, and at least they're not like mauve or aqua blue or something, aqua green. You can see the headliner. It's a very plush feeling when you're inside, and it's actually pretty quiet. There's a lot of noise dampening from all that stuff. So I'm gonna check out the side doors here. So this is a fold down table on the left door with a compartment behind it. And on the right side, this thing just unbuttons to the top, and there's a pocket very similar to this in there. And this is actually an entry mat that pops off if you wanted to take it off to clean it maybe. And then here we have a table that lifts up, and there's a brace. So it'll lift up and stay up like that for extra counter space. This is where the porta potty lives, right here. And it just slides out for use. And then the main cabin, I guess the cabinet, I said cabin, I meant cabinet, with a microwave, which I haven't tried, probably won't. This is just like vented space up above it, so we're probably gonna do something to open up more space there, because that just feels like wasted space. This is a small narrow cabinet that currently has the toilet paper. Here's my closet. So there's a mirror, and there's a little closet rod, and that's all my clothes I have from 2 backpacks, so it's pretty much all fit right in there. This drawer has underwears and stuff, and that's the driver's area. This is an organizer here that, like, you can put your coin in and stuff. It's different compartments. And then this, I won't do it right now, but it flips over this way and makes like a little shelf. And then wonderful radio that barely works. Some old style heater stuff. And I noticed the other day it doesn't have a tachometer, so I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I might want to add one. But it's got an airbag, it's got cruise control, and I love these vent windows. So old cars and vans and stuff had these, and you can turn them completely backwards like that. And as long as there are not too many bugs, it really helps with airflow. And it's got a CB radio. This was added by Sportsmobile because these were relocated down, so it's like a compartment to put some stuff, sunglasses, whatever. It's actually pretty handy. And over here we have a removable table. You can see the base right there, and that will go in that. There's like a little socket that it sits in back there, but it also has a separate set of folding legs, so I can use it outside. And this is a Norcold 120 12-volt fridge. I'll show you what it looks like inside here with some stuff. It's been running quite well, and so we have the top down right now, so I'm having to like kind of scrunch. You might hear me grunting or breathing a little bit louder than normal, but this is the pantry, so I just pulled that little lever to pull it out, and there's a pocket up here actually too. So decent amount of storage in there. It's only accessible from this side. And here's the lounge area, if you will, and it converts into a bed, so these come together. It's not something that you can do one-handedly, so I'm not going to do that right now. We'll open the rear door, so it's a full door instead of 2 doors. It's one big door, and that's where I'm keeping my bedding right now. It used to be like a compartment for an old tube TV, and this thing is basically useless. And then your heating and cooling, that's where the air conditioner lives. just a little closet. It's got a little flip top compartment. This one's a flip down. Just happens to fit my MacBook perfectly. And I'm keeping my other bag and stuff in there for now. And on this side, we have the kitchen. So there's 2 drawers on each side. And they're both about the same size. I'll just show you kind of what size they are. That's the same. And then the wheel well's back there. I'm just keeping my pillows there for now. And then there's the sink, which is rather small. It's like 10 by 10 by 4 inches or 5 inches deep. So it's pretty small. There's a little 12-volt fan that works really well. And check it out. It like oscillates. But we're going to be putting in a max air, so I may just take that out or relocate it. It's not really the most convenient spot right here, because we want to make the sink bigger and then probably put a faucet right here that we can access from the outside as well. So underneath here, water heaters in the back. There's some plumbing pipes and just some miscellaneous storage. And there's nothing here because the porta potty's over here. And that's pretty much it on the inside. Now, I want to show you how these shades work and these windows. So this just cranks and the window opens outward, and there's some screens. So you get some pretty good airflow. And these shades are really cool. So there's the first one you pull down, and it's kind of sheer, you can see through it. And then the second one is your blackout. So that's kind of nice. And they're all in really good shape. They just lift. I can use one hand to operate it. My left hand. And so I'm going to turn on this other light here too. So you got a lot of lights. So I'm going to show you how the top works. So above here, this is the bed for the top. It's called the penthouse, is what Sportsmobile calls it. And it's hooked to the top with these cables. There's 2 in the front. They're the little straps. And so when you lift it, you can leave this, or you can lift the top with it, depending on whether you want headroom or you want to sleep up there. And the top is just secured with these latches. So like older convertibles and stuff had a similar mechanism like that. So it just hooks in there. And then there's a seat belt as a safety latch. And there's 2 of these up front as well. So I just pop these on each side. Take the latch off. That's harder to do one-handed than the other latch, just because there's not that much room. So then you just push. So I don't know if we can do this one-handed. We'll see. Maybe. I don't think so. The springs need some adjusting. So, and this bed weighs 51.5 pounds or something. So I don't know that I can do this one-handed. But so usually what I've been doing. Let's see. I'll set this over here, and maybe you can see me doing it. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Yeah, you should be able to see me. All right, so to lift, I've just been pushing. And that's really all there is to it. So these aren't quite as tight as some of the other ones. And we'll take a look outside in a second. Especially in the back. Just feels like it's sagging a little bit. Because if I push, I can get a couple more inches out of it. You can kind of hear the springs creaking and groaning. So this is a window panel in the front. There's no plastic, so that's just straight bent. And these all have plastic on them. So it's waterproof. And then these are like roll down shades. So we got 4 of them. And then as you can see, the bed is attached up there. And this gives me quite a bit more headroom. So we'll step outside and get a picture of this. So here's what it looks like when the top is up. And as you can see, it's pretty tall. It adds a little over 2 feet. A little less in the back. You can see it's sagging a little bit. Maybe this view over here kind of shows how it's sagging. Or maybe the front would be better. Here's a view inside. I'll show you this in the back. These are little compartments that let you access the storage under the seat. You can also flip up the seat, which is very hard to do one-handed. It's there's a kind of a sliding slash hinge mechanism, so it wants to slide and it wants to lift, and it's just much better done with two hands. So that's the rest of the Pop-top. It's in really good shape. That's what it looks like. So anyway, that's the starting point, and hope you enjoyed seeing what it looks like. We're going to continue to do some little stuff to it here and there for the next couple of days while I'm waiting for parts. And then we're going to just do some more things that I have on my to-do list. So one of the things, kind of a bigger one, is that the rear axle has what's called an open differential. So you can't really see. Let's see if we can see the differential right there. It's fairly dark. But so the differential is what controls your wheel spin side to side. And an open differential means that if one wheel starts spinning, all the power will go to that side and it'll keep spinning because there's no resistance. So you can get stuck very easily. And we're considering converting this thing to four-wheel drive, but not quite sure. We'd like to, but it's a lot of money. It's a big project. And so in the meantime, we're going to put in a limited slip differential, which means that this one side can spin a little bit, and then it will force power out to the other side. So it'll give us some improved traction in two-wheel drive, which you might want anyway, even if it was four-wheel drive, because you might not be using four-wheel drive in some situations. You know, like let's say it's kind of wet, and you wouldn't be driving in four-wheel drive to begin with, and you get into a spot where it starts slipping while you're driving. So the limited slip could help in that situation. And also, if you do four-wheel drive, there's no guarantee that it is actually driving all four wheels. So it will split. There's essentially a transfer case, which is kind of like a differential in the center, and it will transfer the power to the front and rear, and then let you select two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or four high, four low. But you could be in a situation where this wheel and that wheel also spin on one side, and you would go nowhere because the other side wouldn't be getting any power. Or it could be opposite corners. So it does give you front to rear four-wheel drive, but it doesn't give you guaranteed side to side or cross wheel traction. So the limited slip would help with that, where you're getting 50% of the power about to the rear, and then the limited slip from there would control which way it would go. It would only allow one tire to slip to a certain extent. And then some people will put in lockers and things like that, and we might consider that if we get into like serious off-roading. I'd probably put one in the front. So we might really do it, but we're seriously considering it. But I think we just want to like spend some time in here and do the maintenance items that it needs first. Even though it's like in really good shape, you can kind of tell, hopefully. And this is an indoor-outdoor carpet here, and it is also in pretty good condition. I mean, it's not even really dirty, and it goes all the way through. There's Murphy's bowls. Anyway, I'm going to start taking the springs off for the top.